Hey guys, slightly different setup today. We're here at the home office and today we're going to be working on simplifying your nutrition strategy for you so that you can understand first of all, what it is you want nutrition to do to support you, the goal in which you want it to allow you to achieve, and where your current status is. Once you know all of that, I'm then going to give you the action plan and the solutions that you can potentially take based off your own personal dietary preferences and any other kind of lifestyle or habit and behavioral preferences. Isn't that great? I'm going to do that in 4 minutes. First of all, we need to establish what your baseline basal metabolic rate is. Your baseline BMR. That is the amount of calories, which is energy, that your body needs to use in order to maintain its current status as it is right now. So you might find that, and if you're a man or a woman, your age, your height, the amount of body fat you have, the amount of muscle mass you currently have, how much water you have in your composition, how much exercise you do, how much non-exercise activity you do. All of these things are going to influence your BMR. The easiest way to do that is go and get a DEXA scan, an in-body scan, a Tanea scan like we have at the lab. You can also do this through calculations, simple calculations on the internet, free calculations on the internet. And once you've established what your BMR is, you're going to then start to best strategy, food diary. Then start to record a food diary. So you can record a food diary. You can use like a journal and like count and measure your food. One of the best ways to track is through any apps like MyFitnessPal. Very simple, free app to use. I've listed loads of videos where you can find out how to use MyFitnessPal, and you can track your daily calories. Then you'll find that it will look something like this graph here. You'll have your baseline BMR, and then you'll see this wave coming up here. And that wave is basically you're going up and down through that baseline. And over the course of 7 days, you want to record what was your total intake. How many calories did you manage to achieve over the course of 7 days? And then you'll find out whether you're lower or higher than your baseline BMR. So why is that important? Well, if you want to lose weight, ideally you need to eat below your baseline BMR, around about 250 to 500 calories. If you want to gain weight, you've got to get above your baseline BMR, which is about 250 to 500 calories. Where this doesn't work is if you have a person that has been neglecting your health a little bit, you've not been focused on your training, not been focused on your nutrition, and probably not eating regularly and consistently as you should or as you could, then you're going to find this kind of metabolic stall where your body's gone into starvation mode and you need to refeed yourself, increase your BMR back up to then drop it back down again. That could go through between 4 to 8 weeks, depending on the phase. And that's called the weight loss paradigm. And you'll see on the next graph right here, we're going to see how to gain weight. So when your calories are going up, it will look a bit like that. So if you're eating above the baseline, it means it's going up. And your weight will be going up over the course of the 7 days. So effectively, if you continue to have your median line above the BMR line, you'll effectively gain weight. The second challenge most people have is the composition challenge. So if we want body composition, and that means we want to change the composition of our body, we're going to go through 3 types of ways we can do this. So we're going to do this through checking our macronutrients. That's your protein, your fats, and your carbohydrates. You can see on the graph here. If you look at graph 1, if your calories go above your baseline metabolic rate and you manage to keep within these protein, fats, and carbohydrates requirement, you will be able to achieve more muscle. If you eat below your baseline BMR and maintain these ratios, you will achieve fat loss. Now let's go ahead to the middle one. This is where a majority of us will slip up. Either the carbohydrates, which I've labeled here, or the fats are generally on the higher side. And the protein is sort of like moderate or slightly low. When we have that type of macronutrients, you're going to get stored fat if your calories are above your BMR. And if your calories are below BMR, you're going to get hidden fat, which is that kind of skinny fat look. So you're not going to get that firm, strong physique that a lot of people are looking for. It's going to be more like you're trying to lose weight, but then you're going to have that excess skin, that excess fat, and not that much power, strength, and you're going to lose muscle density. Lastly, this is another way in which you can utilize fat, become fat adapted. If you prefer eating fats and not really that into eating carbohydrates, which I'm kind of like a love-hate relationship with carbs. I do like carbs as a Tim Tam, it's really good. But I also find that my body responds really, really well to a high-fat diet. And then before, I've used a high-fat diet, and I've been able to get some of the best physique shapes of my life on a high-fat diet. That's not necessary to say that you should always do that, but if you find out from your 7-day food diary that you tend to eat more fats and less carbohydrates, that could be a clear indicator that your actual preferences are more along the lines of having are using fat for fuel rather than carbs for fuel. And if that is indeed the case, you might be on a bit of a winner going for a higher fat diet than a high carbohydrate diet. In which case, the key component here is you've got to reduce your carbohydrates right down. You can't be having high fats and high carbs at the same time. That is definitely going to give you that middle circle that we talked about just now, where it's going to give you that stored fat, especially if you're eating above your BMR, or it's going to give you the hidden fat. That's why these dirty bulks don't really work so well, because you end up putting on a lot of muscle, but also you can put on a lot of fat. So it really depends on what your preferences are. Like I said, I actually quite like carbs. And at the end of the day, diet, nutrition, nothing should ever be off the table. It's just about being aware of what your goals are, being aware of the strategy that suits you best, managing your expectations, and then committing to something. And with the tracking and with your intention behind the goal, it's going to be straightforward for you to achieve the result. Just kind of like being honest with yourself as to which is your preference. And if you can find the preference that works for you, then you're, of course, going to get a great result with your nutrition. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.